They will diminish or attempt to diminish the value of your case by saying, look, there's no medical proof. Welcome to my channel. I understand how overwhelming it can be to navigate through the legal process after an accident. In today's video, I'm gonna shed light on common mistakes people often make, which can jeopardize your chances of receiving fair compensation. So let's dive right in. Mistake number 1, ignoring medical attention. What if I told you that neglecting medical attention after an accident could cost you thousands of dollars? Here's why. It is crucial to seek medical attention immediately, even if you feel fine. Delaying medical treatment could harm both your health and your potential compensation. There are several reasons how that can happen. Number 1 is failure to mitigate your damage. If you don't seek medical treatment right away, the insurance company will say, oh, he or she can't be injured because they didn't go to the doctor right away. They also might say, oh, the injury is not that serious, otherwise he would have went to the doctor right away. Or they'll say, you know what? This injury would not be so bad had this person simply gone to a doctor and gotten immediate treatment following that accident. The insurance company might also try to allege that you're trying to commit insurance fraud. You're doing this to make a quick buck. You're not injured. And lastly, they will diminish or attempt to diminish the value of your case by saying, look, there's no medical proof. There's a lack of medical evidence to support these claimed injuries. So although life doesn't always permit you to get in the ambulance, go to the hospital, you may not need an ambulance. Or you may be on your way to some appointment, some place to pick up a kid, something that's very, very important, and you just can't go to the doctor immediately. You should go, however, as soon as possible. As soon as possible, get yourself checked out. The second mistake people often make after a car wreck is failing to document everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. Even if you think it's not that big of a deal, even if you believe, I have a great memory, I'm gonna remember this, don't do it. Just write it down, take a picture, make a note. We all have these smartphones. There's no reason not to document things. And the main reason I tell people it's important to document everything is that there are a lot of specific items of recovery that you can receive as a result of being injured in an accident. However, if you don't document it, you're not going to be fully compensated. You might not be compensated at all for things you don't document. So document it for yourself, for your lawyer, for the judge, for the jury. Write it down, take pictures, make a note, because it may be very important and it could mean the difference between a significant amount of money at the end of the day. So what are some of the things you can recover if you're injured in a car wreck, a slip and fall, or any kind of personal injury case? The law has what's called special damages. Special damages are things I like to explain as you can plug this into a calculator. How much are my medical bills? What is the estimate for the damage to my car? How much time did I miss from work? How much time will I miss from work? How much will my medical bills be in the future? These are all calculator items. We can plug them into a calculator, figure out a precise number, document all of that. Then there are general damages. General damages are the things you cannot simply assign a number to. And it's vitally important to document general damages because general damages in pretty much every personal injury case are the largest areas of damage. So what are general damages? Let's talk about it. Pain and suffering. Now, what is pain and suffering? We've all been in pain. We've all suffered as a result of pain. However, when a person is injured in an automobile accident, we're talking about a significant amount of pain and suffering they could be experiencing. So here's a little acronym I like to use, I like my clients to use, and if you're ever injured, I would recommend you use this to fully wrap your head and your brain around what these injuries are doing to you. And the acronym is FOLD, F-O-L-D. So what does the F stand for? Feel. How does the pain feel? Now, a lot of times the doctor's offices, or especially defendants, like to give you a scale of 1 to 10. How do you rate your pain on a scale of 1 to 10? Well, everybody's rating of that scale is going to be different because it's completely subjective. So I like to recommend that clients come up with a descriptive way of describing how does it feel. Does it feel like a stabbing, aching pain in the back? Does it feel like I've smashed my hand in the door? Does it feel like someone has stepped on my foot? How does it feel? That is F. O is for how often. In any given week or month, how often does the problem bother you? How often does your back hurt? How often does your neck hurt? How often do you get headaches? How many times a week? How many days a month? L is for long or duration. How long does it last? For example, if a client says, I get a headache 3 times a week, 3 days a week I get a headache. My next question is, okay, on those 3 days that you get a headache, how long does the headache last? On those 3 days that your back hurts, how long does the pain last? That is L. How long? What is the duration? And D is for do. What do you do to get relief? Do you lay down? Do you stretch? Do you take medication? Or is there nothing you can do? You just have to wait for it to pass. Whatever it is, what do you do to get relief? That is FOLD. F-O-L-D. If you're injured in an accident, slip and fall, car wreck, that's what you should do. Document your injuries, the pain and suffering. Use the acronym FOLD. Another element of general damages is emotional distress. How is this affecting you psychologically? And what is loss of enjoyment of life? This is your 2 ways I look at it. These are the things I enjoy doing, and I'm no longer able to do them. These are the things I enjoy doing, and my ability to do them has been substantially limited. So what falls under this category? Sporting events, whether you like to attend sporting events or you like to play sports as a hobby. Any other hobbies and other activities you like to partake in, those fall under loss of enjoyment of life. Social activities, you like to take road trips, you can no longer do that. You like to attend parties, family events, barbecues, you can no longer do that. Or when you do them, you pay for it later. You know, you take the 2-hour drive because you really miss your relatives and you lay in bed all day the next day. You need to document that. Activities with your children. If you have kids that play sports or you'd like to take your kids on vacation and because of your injuries, you're either unable to attend or you have to suffer through and can't fully enjoy the experience or experiences, make a note of it. That's recoverable. You can provide testimony in court as to that, and a jury or judge can compensate you for that because it's considered loss of enjoyment of life. Also, a component of general damages are things many of us take for granted. We call them, the law refers to them as ADLs, activities of daily living. A great way to document activities of daily living would be to keep a journal. How is your ability to do work around the house affected? How is your ability to do household chores, house and yard work, personal activities such as dressing, eating? Is there an emotional or psychological or psychiatric effect your inability to do certain things is having on you? Is it affecting your interpersonal relationship with your spouse, your children, your dog? Is it affecting your ability to groom yourself, adhere to your personal hygiene? Are there limits to the physical functions you can do? Does it hurt to bend to put on your shoes? Does somebody have to help you put on your shoes? Are there now travel restrictions on you? Are you unable to travel, or do you now travel less frequently? These are ADLs, activities of daily living, that you need to make a record of. Are you having issues sleeping at night? Do you go to bed at night and wake up never feeling refreshed as a result of your injuries? Do you toss and turn all night as a result of your injury? Do you now have to sleep in the bed alone and cannot afford or stand to sleep next to your significant other because it's painful? Or you are restless and it disturbs your significant other and they can't take it because they themselves have to go to work the next day. These things need to be documented. It's the only way to prove them in court. You can't rely on your memory to recall all of this in the spur of a moment. Keep a journal, folks. Keep a journal at home that you can use to make a record of all of this. A good rule of thumb when documenting anything that falls under general damages, whether it's ADLs or loss of enjoyment of life or pain and suffering, is to find a way to capture evidence or people that you can use if the case goes to court. So when you think about some of the things that you're either unable to do or your ability to do them has been affected, write down the name and address of people who've witnessed it. Family members, friends, co-workers, church members. Write down the day you last participated in the activity. Write down how often you would participate in the activity prior to being injured compared to now. Write down how you were affected the last time you attempted to participate in the activity. For example, were you able to participate at all? If not, you need to write that down and have witnesses to support that. If you were able to participate, however, you were in excruciating pain afterwards, you need to write that down and write down the name of witnesses who saw how much pain you were in after participating. The third mistake people make after being involved in an accident is settling too quickly. The insurance companies routinely call people offering them a quick buck. I'll give you $500, $1,000, $2,000. Many people take that money and run, thinking they're fine. The problem with that approach, folks, is that rarely do you know within the first day or two or even week the full extent of your injury. I would highly recommend waiting until you have gotten medical treatment and spoken to a doctor. Because if you take a quick settlement, you actually can end up being on the hook for several things. Number one, you may end up being responsible for medical bills that have not been paid out of the settlement. The insurance companies typically are responsible for your medical bills, but if they offer a quick settlement and you accept it, those medical bills could fall on you. You also could end up owing reimbursement to your health insurance. Every health insurance, private health insurance, has what's called a right of reimbursement. If they pay medical bills on your behalf, in your contract, you have to reimburse them. And Medicare or Medicaid, if you have one of those services, they also have a right to be reimbursed for medical payments they've made on your behalf. The third danger of settling too quickly is you may not receive compensation for all the injuries you have. As I stated earlier, you probably don't know the full extent of your injuries, so don't accept a quick buck. And the fourth reason why you should never settle if the insurance company calls you and offers you a quick buck is that 9 times out of 10, you're going to receive substantially less than what the actual value of your case is. The fourth mistake people make after an accident or injury is sharing too much on social media. The insurance company, the agents, their private investigators, they're going to scrub the internet. Any social media platform you have a profile on, they will look. They will dive in and they will try to find anything you post that is inconsistent with what you say you can no longer do or your ability to do has been affected. And if the case ends up in litigation, they will issue subpoenas. They'll issue a subpoena to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, all of them really, trying to find any evidence that contradicts anything you've ever said as part of this case. So the safest thing you can do if you're injured is to not post about it on social media. And if you file a lawsuit or you make a claim and you're claiming you cannot do things or your ability to do them has been affected, don't post pictures or videos of you doing that. And don't let your friends post it, because guess what? They'll search their profiles too to find information or dirt on you. The fifth and biggest mistake people make after an accident is not seeking legal advice soon enough. The reality is the 4 previous mistakes people often make: failure to mitigate, failing to document, settling too quickly, sharing too much information on social media. A lawyer can protect you from making all of these prior mistakes. So please, if you're injured, start with number 5. Reach out, call a lawyer who handles personal injury cases, and he'll guide you through the previous 4. If not, you better keep this video on speed dial. Well, folks, now that you know the top 5 mistakes people make after an accident, you're one step closer to protecting your rights. If you found the information in this video useful, click the link and subscribe to my channel and click like. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.